This is why Gary Berntsen was not allowed to kill Osama bin Laden in Tora, Bora when he was only a few hundred yards away.
This insinuates that the government knew exactly where bin Laden was in 2001. When it comes to bin Laden, I'm invested, right? Because I spent essentially my entire youth fighting in Afghanistan because of this guy.
Can you talk about Cairo, the military dog who went on 17 deployments, has PTSD, and you said he deserves the Medal of Honor?
Yeah, they saved a lot of lives, but to me, once robots and all that different stuff came in the picture, we should have definitely pulled back a little bit on using dogs to try to find some of those devices. You want to join the CIA. Here's some of the training that they go through. I found a pretty interesting clip that I was like, ooh, take a listen. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Green Beret Chronicles show. We got a good one for you guys today. We are going to discuss several different topics today, to include bin Laden, right? We're going to hit on a couple of different clips by Rob O'Neill. We're going to hit another clip from John Shrek McPhee. And then we're going to hit on a clip that I found to be pretty interesting, right? Talking about bin Laden, his whereabouts, all right, Afghanistan, etc. We'll talk about all of that, right? Then we're going to talk about service dogs, right? Should we limit the amount of time canines actually go into combat? Should we put a limit on that? And then you want to join the CIA? I got a pretty interesting clip that talks about the amount of training and the type of training that they do. And then we're going to end it with a video from Jump Shrek McPhee answering the questions about how to handle bad leaders, which there seems to be a lot of them going around nowadays, right? Guys, if this is your first time watching me, my name is Jay. I'm a retired U.S. Army Green Beret, and the intent behind this show is to coach, teach, and mentor the next generation of war fighters, right? So if you get any value out of this, like and subscribe, share the channel. I greatly appreciate it. With all that said, guys, let's jump right into Osama bin Laden. A couple of different clips that I want to share with you guys. Let's take a look at the first one.
I've moved through this world with a mission, in silence, in chaos. I've worn the uniform, carried the weight, and crossed borders most people only hear about when things go bad. Now, I move through these same streets with a new mission, to find the best damn coffee on earth and tell the stories no one else will. From the highlands of Colombia to the alley roasters of Tehran, from the back streets of Port-au-Prince to the hills of Vietnam, from the dust of Afghanistan to the shadows of somewhere I can't even name yet. This isn't a travel show. It's not a coffee review. It's an operation. My name is Jay Dorleus, ex-Green Beret and founder of Dark Arts Coffee. And this is the Field Guide. The place most won't go, the beans most don't know, and the dark truth brewed in every cup.
Three different Navy SEALs claim that they were the ones that did the kill shot.
Yeah, I'm not going to get involved with that.
One of them has made a living off
of it. Yeah. Now, yeah.
Been signed, like random stuff that's been signed by this Navy SEAL who claims that he's the guy, the one who's made a living from it. Like, there's a soccer ball signed by the guy. I don't want to say his name.
And maybe he was.
Maybe he was, but is it really worth $500 for an autographed, Time magazine with bin Laden on it that this Navy SEAL signed?
So if you guys aren't tracking, guys, a lot of controversy are out there right now as it relates to bin Laden, right? We have lawsuits going on, etc., etc. We have Rob O'Neill, we have Matt Bissonnette, and then we have another guy that hasn't been identified yet, all fighting over bin Laden and what actually took place. However, I'm going to hit this from a different angle because, again, when it comes to bin Laden, I'm invested, right? Because I spent essentially my entire youth fighting in Afghanistan because of this guy, right? But I found a pretty interesting clip that I think that you guys should listen to.
Around for 10 years following Tora, Bora. This was arranged by John Brennan. This is why Gary Berntsen was not allowed to kill Osama bin Laden in Tora, Bora when he was only a few hundred yards away.
This insinuates that the government knew exactly where bin Laden was in 2001, which, again, if they did, then why did we fight a 20-year war in Afghanistan? This is why I'm so interested and fascinated by this. Gary Berntsen was part of the Jawbreaker team that went in initially into Afghanistan with a group of SF guys from 5th Group and some CIA counterparts to hunt bin Laden. That's who he's referring to. Now, granted, I know this guy dressed weird and he looks weird with the beard and the turban. Let's try to get past all of that, right? Because he had access and placement to all the Middle Eastern, essentially, higher ups, right? So he was in the camps when bin Laden was visiting and doing all this different stuff. So he is credible. Let's keep listening.
Because the plans had been made and set in stone by John Brennan to extradite bin Laden from Tora, Bora to Iran, where he remained under house arrest for 10 years with more than 100 Al-Qaeda leaders and their families.
Now, I know we've heard this before from somewhere, right? I remember watching a clip from John Shrek McPhee where he stated while he was at Tora Bora, getting ready to capture bin Laden, there was a ceasefire and then helicopters came out of nowhere. Let's take a listen to that clip.
Well, so what happened? Because you didn't find bin Laden there, but you found all of his henchmen.
Yeah.
You killed them.
Yeah.
And then are you done? Because bin Laden's still out there.
Someone called a ceasefire. And I would also say there's a couple helicopters flew over the battlefield, which I still to this day don't know who they were.
Oh, you think he was escaping?
I look at it this way. If the first 10 days of the war, 10 guys bin Laden, where's the war on terror at?
Oh, this is interesting.
The checkbook would have never got open.
Oh, that's really interesting.
That's what I think.
What are you guys' thoughts on that, guys? Right? Here we have an individual that had access and placement as far as being in those camps that bin Laden was in and having first-hand information that he shared with lawmakers as far as where bin Laden was. And then here we have John Shrek McPhee saying, hey, we had bin Laden dead to rights. And then out of nowhere, helicopters showed up and essentially extracted him off the battlefield. And then 20 years later, we left Afghanistan looking like fools. What are you guys' thoughts about this, guys? I saw it and I watched that entire interview from start to finish. And I was like, man, I'm not a big fan of coincidences, right? I think that certain things happen because people make them happen. And as I'm looking at this, I'm like, man, I can't. It's wild. Share with me your comment, guys. Eager to hear what you guys think about this one. I thought it was pretty interesting. Wanted to share it with you guys, right? Now let's transition into where Rob O'Neill is discussing a canine handler and his dog going on approximately 17 different missions. Take a listen.
Can you talk about Cairo, the military dog who went on 17 deployments, has PTSD, and you said he deserves the Medal of Honor?
My guy's in a fight and they said, hey, we got a friendly wounded in action. And I asked, who is it? I wanted a call sign. And they said Cairo. And I'm like, fuck, he's dead. He got shot in the chest and the arm. But the guy with him, who was actually the point man on the bin Laden raid, got to him and shaved him and put a chest seal on him. The pilots came in under fire and pulled him out. And then
No way.
And the surgeons were waiting for him and they saved him. So Cairo lived. So he went on trips with us again and he actually got PTSD because we'd be on targets and we tell him to go in a room and he kind of, you sure? Yes, go. That's your job. Get in there.
They carry extra mags.
They carry mags and they wear a flag and he had his red man patch, yeah.
As I'm listening to this clip, guys, I got one question for you guys, and one serious question at that is, should we limit the terms in regards to deployment that these service animals can go on, right? Because again, me personally, guys, I didn't grow up as a dog person, right? I grew up in Haiti where, animals were just looked at as animals. But then I came to the US and that completely changed. And I cannot honestly look at the dogs that I have now and essentially take them into combat with me, right? So I think it is a very delicate situation when it comes to using dogs such as Cairo in combat, which again, it is what it is, right? But my question to you guys is, should we limit the terms as far as the amount of time that we are using these dogs in combat to where 17 deployment is a lot, guys. And PTSD is real, not only in human beings, but also in animals, right? But I saw this clip. I wanted to share it with you guys because again, when it comes to war, it affects everyone in a different way, right? It affects human beings in a different way. It affects animals in a different way. Again, the pet lover in me can't help but think that, man, 17 deployments and PTSD, they probably should have stopped at deployment 5 and then call it, right? Guys, I've had canines out in the field when I was a combat engineer essentially save my life and multiple others, right? To where we use them in a capacity of, hey, we're going to send them out there. They're going to sniff around. And when they find a bomb, they're going to sit on it. And that's how we're going to know that, hey, something is there. right? I've seen dogs get blown up, right? That's happened downrange. Yeah, they saved a lot of lives, but to me, once robots and all that different stuff came in the picture, we should have definitely pulled back a little bit on using dogs to try to find some of those devices, right? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, right? Because again, guys, should we limit the amount of time we use these dogs downrange? Because again, I know it's their job, right? Like Rob said, hey, it's your job, get in there. However, I do think things could have been done a little bit different, right? Let me know what you guys think. Now let's transition into, guys, you want to join the CIA, right? You want to go out and do hood stuff and do cool stuff. Here's some of the training that they go through. I found a pretty interesting clip that I was like, ooh, I don't know if I would do that, right? Take a listen.
But damn it, Kiriakou, you just cost me $900 in broken windshields. I said I couldn't get a clean shot. I'm sorry. We did this one exercise. It was at night. We drew straws to see who would go first. And I went first. So all you know in this scenario is you are in a flea bag hotel in El Salvador. Good luck. So it's just a table and a chair. And it looks like a flea bag hotel. I mean, it's like a Hollywood set. I mean, this is real life. They make it look like it really is going to look in real life. So you're sitting there, you're not really sure what to expect. And there's a knock on the door and you say, who is it? And then the door opens and it's these two guys and one of them is holding a vacuum cleaner and they're saying, housekeeping, senor, housekeeping. And I go, I don't need housekeeping. I don't need housekeeping. And then the second guy behind him pulls out a gun. He goes, bang, bang. He shoots me with 2 paint pellets. I go, fuck. I said, I never saw that coming. And one of the instructors says, if you're in a shithole motel, in a shithole country, and 2 people just walk into your room, kill them. And he's like, don't tell anybody else what the exercise is.
So I heard this one, guys, and I'm like, man, I've been in a lot of shithole motels around the world, right? Because when you think about it, that's where we operate, right? That's where we go do work. And I heard this and I'm like, man, if every time people walked into my hotel room or walked into, my living quarters, I shot them, I would be in fucking jail right now, right? So I heard this and I'm like, man, hopefully no one watching this, is actually going to do that, right? Because again, man, like in third world countries, hell, some rooms don't even have doors, right? And people walk into your room and automatically you just, put rounds in them, you're going to end up going to jail, right? That's just the reality of it. Now, granted, I get what he is saying. I get the training generation that he went through, right? Because you always got to be hyper vigilant and you always got to be ready. However, you also got to know the backlash of just putting rounds into people. What if they don't have guns, right? What if they know shit or just in your room because they were sent up there or because they had business to conduct, right? What if, you accidentally put rounds on innocent people without any freaking, without any weapons? Now what? Now you got an E&E out of a country because you just murdered 2 people. All right, guys, I was recently in Medellin, right? Considered a third world country. And I had a similar incident, right? But man, I didn't automatically went to, grabbing a knife and stabbing the dude because I'm in a third world country and I don't want to die, right? You got to think through all of this, right? And when these guys are on here sharing their stories, interesting storytelling, right? Maybe true, but it can get regular people in a lot of trouble, right? Eager to hear what you guys hear about this one, guys. So let's transition into the last clip. We're going to talk about how to handle bad leaders, right? Let's hear what John Trek McPhee has to say about this. I'll give you guys my 2 cents and then I'll send you guys on your way. Let's take a listen.
I'm John McPhee. I get asked this question all the time. What do you do about a bad leader? The simple answer is you do the same as if you had a good leader. You be the good student, you be the good employee, whatever you want to call it. In the Army, right, I had a ton of bad bosses. I didn't like everybody I worked for. Some guys, you'll just never get along, and that's fine. But What I would say is you do your best, right? You be the best at your job. You play a flawless game so the bad leader can't do anything bad against you. And next thing is, you don't try to outshine them, right? Because if they're bad leaders and you know bad leaders f people over, don't outshine him, let him shine on his own. Just do your job. Be the underling, let him shine, let him be the one with all the good ideas. So what, it came for you, right? And the reality, and I think the thing with all of it that I've had to learn over the years is even bad leaders only last so long. You know, they'll be gone soon and you'll have another one. In the Army loves to change over every couple years. You'll have new bosses every couple years. So you only got to put up with them for so long. But the best thing you can do is be the best version of yourself in front of them that you can be, right? I always say this all the time. The way to get revenge on somebody is to live a better life. The way to get even with a bad boss is to play a flawless game and be the best employee.
What would you guys add to this? How have you dealt with bad leaders in the past? Exactly what John Shrek just said. That's exactly what I've done throughout my 20+ years of military service. I'm always playing chess. I'm always trying to stay 2 to 3 steps ahead of whoever bad leaders that I'm working for. I'm always planning my exit, right? I knew, hey, I'm expected to do X, Y, and Z. Guess what? I did X, Y, and Z. I didn't get into any battle of the wits or any of that stuff. I did my job. I was right place, right time, right uniform, right? When they wanted to take credit for my work, I let them, and then I kept it moving. Because if you get into a tit for tat or battle of the wits with that bad leader and they have the ability to crush you, they will do just that. They will crush you. And at the end of the day, a lot of people think that the Army doesn't have such a thing as far as bad leaders. Everybody in the Army is a good leader, right? No, I would say 80% of everybody in the military as far as leadership goes are probably shitty, right? It is what it is, because at some point they're going to get to a level where they're going to leverage their personal gain instead of the people they are in charge of protecting and or leading. It's bound to happen, guys. And when that happens, shitty leader starts to rear their ugly head. It is what it is. It's not right, but it does happen. It happens a lot more often than you think within the military, right? Let me know, guys, how do you handle bad leaders, right? Eager to hear you guys' feedback. I appreciate you guys tuning in, guys. Again, if you need any support with anything, greenberetchronicles.com. Jump on a call. Also, check out the merch shop, right? Do work, and then grab you a bag of coffee, guys. 10% of everything that you buy will go to the Dark Arts Coffee Foundation, right? I appreciate you guys. And until next time, guys, take care of yourself.